Transfer rumours, transfer stories, absolutely everywhere in every single position on the pitch for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United right now. But there is only one position, one key position, and a priority signing in January is left wing back. We're going through the options and what has been said. Zirkzee Dogu back on the scene, apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano. But we know the number one target is going to cost Manchester United quite a bit of money. How do they make this happen? It all could stem from a sale of Casemiro in midfield. I did say last night I will bring you more details. I expected more to come out on Casemiro today, and over the night it has done, and it has done in a big way. More news on that. I'll get through all the details of that and what that means for United and how much we can actually get for him. There is a poll running right now in the chat, and this is absolutely amazing, actually. On these polls, we always do like a yes or no one. The one in there right now is, would you sell Casemiro for 25 million? We had about 100 votes early doors on this vote, and it was 100% sell Casemiro on a poll. I've never seen anything like it. And this was just before the show actually started. We had around about 100 votes, and it was 100% yes, see you later, Casemiro. That's amazing. That will obviously change as the show goes on and more people come in. But get your vote on this. Should we be selling Casemiro in January? I'll go through the details of that, but we are starting, of course, with the priority position for Manchester United, and that being left wing back. We talked last night about the forward options and how Manchester United probably would be looking at a loan option going forward. With Osimhen saying that he is wanting to stay at Galatasaray for the rest of the season, then move in the summer. That's fine. That's up to him. If he is strong on that, United are not willing to pay the money and do a deal with Napoli because there's a player there that doesn't want to leave Galatasaray. Napoli can't move. They can't trigger that clause. We might have to put Osimhen to bed, and that's that. United's priority has always been left wing back. So that being said and that being moved, United looking at loan deals for forwards, and we'll probably get into that later on in the transfer window, no doubt. But there is one key position. And do you know what? This is interesting with left wing back being the priority. The way that Dalot played in that position the other day, I'm looking at this scenario here right now, and I think this is within the thinking of a January window, because obviously he wants to buy more in the summer. But just get this and hear me out on this one. Dalot doing so well on the left, there's no reason why Dalot would not do so well on the right-hand side at right wing-back if he can play like he did against Liverpool. And that's a big if, because it's been one game this season for Dalot, I know. But he is that player that is that determined type of player. And I've said this all along. Look, we would sell Dalot, and I would sell Dalot if the right price came in. But if he's willing to see out the rest of the season and play the way he did against Liverpool, and we can maybe get something better in his natural position on the right-hand side, then I feel like that is what Ruben Amorim is looking at. You could bring Mazraoui back into the back three as an option with the other centre-backs that we've got just for cover there. And if he does go out and buy a left wing back, then that's that side sorted. Dalot hopefully can play, because Mazraoui is not good going forward. I think we've seen that. I think we've been made very, very clear. He's brilliant in defence, but he always plays back and turns back. I think the shows that Jamie Carragher has done recently on Ruben Amorim's system on Monday Night Footballs have been absolutely outstanding, by the way. Credit where it's due to Jamie Carragher on that one. He's been absolutely brilliant in analysing what Ruben Amorim is doing, and he's won against Liverpool. I watched it last night before the Wolves game against Forest. Outstanding, brilliant. And Tom Kearney as well there from Fulham alongside him, putting some good input into what was happening. But it's quite clear that Mazraoui, again, isn't that forward-thinking right back. He doesn't bomb forward. That's not his game. But he's brilliant at right centre-back. And I think he can be covered for Man United there. An interesting option, just something I'm putting out there. But if you go out and get a left wing-back, you've got Dalot to cover him if necessary, and on the right-hand side. And you know what I mean by that? That's what I'm trying to say. It's clearly just a better option to have a natural left-footed player on the left side, and I think that's where we're going with this. Mendes, apparently, according to the numbers right now, we've said this is going to be upwards of 50 million. We know this because yes, he's got one more year left to run at the end of this season. But when you look at the amount of teams that are in for him, this is why the numbers are going up. This is why we're hearing the noises now that it's going to be 58 million to get this deal done. Look, he's a young left wing back who is excellent. So United are going to have to pay the money. There are other clubs involved in this, and PSG won't care. They won't care. So whereas it looked like we were going to get a good deal, and maybe with 1 year left we could sort of bargain in with PSG, that's not the case. It really isn't. But the big thing is on this left wing back position is that United want this deal done. They want it done in the next week. This is stories coming out that Ruben Amorim is just want to put all efforts in. United don't want to waste time in the transfer window. They want a deal done for the left wing back as soon as possible. This is why you've got Zirkzee, you've got Alvaro Fernandez, you've also got now, like Fabrizio Romano has said, and like we've said in a few other shows off other reports, Patrick Dorgu from Lecce is definitely an option for Manchester United, and Romano has confirmed that now as well. So priority is get your top targets or someone else is going to come in. It does actually look like Manchester United are definitely going to buy a left wing back, and the question is how keen are they on Mendes and getting Ruben Amorim his top man? Can they do a deal with PSG? Can they commit to giving them what they want? At this stage right now, I don't think 50 million plus, between 50 and 60 million for a left wing back like Mendes and what he is that the going rate? I mean, you tell me in the chat as well. Get into the chat. Is that too much for Mendes in what he actually is right now? He's a young... You've got this player for 10 years. Is it worth investing 50 million plus? I think United are probably aiming for the 50 million mark. PSG want 58. There may be something in the middle there and what gets negotiated in. I like Zirkzee. I'm not too sure about Dorgu. He is an up-and-coming left back who is going to be purchased. We've had every single big club in England looking at Dorgu, so there is talent there. We know about Alvaro Fernandez. Where is the priority? If United want to make this deal happen within a week, I think when it comes down to actual pricing and what they can afford, I think Manchester United, if a decision is going to be made quite soon, then it has to be on putting that money down on Mendes and then looking to option number 2 if it can't happen. But from what Romano said, from what other sources have said, I did a piece the other day on Zirkzee at Bournemouth, where Bournemouth have already brought a new left back in, already purchased a new left back. And this is in full preparation for Zirkzee leaving Bournemouth. And he is open to leaving in January. I think United can make Zirkzee happen this month as well, which is why we're talking about something happening in the next week. Let's not forget, we are a week into the window already. Time is ticking and Manchester United need to get things moving along. If they are going to secure one signing, they want to get it done quickly and then work on people leaving the football club. And that will take us into the next segment, which we're going to do right now. But the options are right there. Would you spend more money on Mendes and get Ruben's top target, or would you save money? Are we in the market for saving money right now? That, I feel, is the question that all Manchester United fans are talking about and they want answers for. I like Alvaro, I like Zirkzee. Who is better of the three? If it's Mendes who's the best option, you go for him. You have to spend the money. United have been all too willing to spend money in the past, so why are we too concerned about it right now, about being ripped off by what's happened in the transfer window before? We've not been ripped off this summer so far under Ineos. I think the 5 signings we've made have been decent money. We're arguing the point with Zirkzee at the moment, like we said, but nobody's complaining about any of Manchester United's signings. All we're talking about is the brilliant tackle and the impact that Yoro made the other day. How outstanding Mazraoui is. What a steal it was to bring Manuel Ugarte in to Manchester United. Matthias de Ligt's a warrior. And all of a sudden, people want to start talking about Manchester United being ripped off and paying too much. Look, these are the right players. The recruitment side of Manchester United, with Christopher Vivel inside now, with obviously Wilcox and Omar Barad, this isn't what it was before. Manchester United are buying the right players. And that's quite clear under Ineos. It's the one good thing we can say. We haven't been ripped off, I don't think. And Gary Neville made a great point about that the other day. No one was moaning in the summer about Manchester United doing bad business. It was down to what was happening within the culture of Manchester United that's caused the problem. And it does look like Ruben Amorim is getting to grips with that. So if you can wean out the crap and bring in some players that we know are right, and United have been looking at, and I feel like Mendes for United, with what he's got experience-wise playing at the top level, and what Ruben Amorim has got experience-wise with him and working alongside him, I think you go in for the best player. Look, money is money, and we need to save it, yes. But I don't understand why Manchester United fans are all of a sudden thinking, why are we not going for the cheaper option? Is this not what we wanted? If it's the right player, and he's going to make Manchester United better, and obviously people will obviously look, well, we only spent 14 million on Mazraoui, and look how good he is. Yes, younger players, though, at this stage, at certain clubs, with other clubs in for him. Let's not forget, there wasn't many suitors for De Ligt and Mazraoui. We had West Ham, let's be honest. You're not going to go West Ham if you can go Man United. De Ligt didn't have much there, did they? Manuel Ugarte, who else was in for Manuel Ugarte? These are players that Manchester United got. Like, we had to spend a little bit more to get Lenny Yoro through the doors. And we will see the benefit of that in time, I'm sure. From what we've seen so far with Lenny Yoro, he is a very, very good player. But this is what we need to recognise, is when we're up against top teams in the transfer market for players, we're going to have to pay a little bit more. And personally, I want Manchester United to get the better players. If it costs more, it costs more. Yes, I like the finances. When you can get a bargain like Mazraoui, it's brilliant, isn't it? It really is. But honestly, right now, I just want the right player at Manchester United. That's what we're all about. We have to make sure that it's all about the football, not about what we're saving. Like beforehand, United were just absolutely destroying our budgets on players that weren't recruited properly. Right now, we know we're not going to go down that road. And I think we can all say we're very confident that Ineos are not going to blow Manchester United's budget completely out of the park on players that are not good enough at this football club. I'm pretty confident in that. I want to get to the comments first of all on what you would pick as a left wing back. I'll give you 3 options there as well. Thank you already for the comments coming in, the likes. We're over 100, over 1,000 in the room. Keep your comments coming in, please, everybody. Make sure you've given the video a like. Share the video as well. Make sure you have subscribed. As you can see, we're basically around about 150 away from 70k. It's coming soon. I think we should be there in the next couple of days. Definitely getting to 70k this week anyway. Super chat in from DJ John T. First greetings from sunny Thailand. I'm glad the weather's alright for you. It's shocking here in Manchester, mate. Demo has just renewed his membership. Thank you. He says, "Hi Adam, we need only one player this January, left wing back. A striker would be nice, but all our efforts should go on left wing back first and first." I think that is the thinking behind Manchester United right now. I'm going to get into more of your comments right now. Jamal says, "Good morning, love of love, your channel, how well spoken you are, and really appreciate everything you do. Numbers don't lie. I cannot wait until yours grow and people really see the work you put in." Thank you, mate. Love that. I just randomly picked that message out, but yeah, I do absolutely love that one. Thank you. Agree, Adam. Money, but we can't go too far other way neither. In terms of what, Greg? Just to explain that one a little bit, mate. In terms of like what we're selling, or do you mean like overspending? I get what you're saying now. We can't overspend. I actually feel like 50 million for a young left wing back like Mendes, who is top quality, is good value personally. I really do. PSG can try and string that out, but I don't know. And we're going to get into the next segment as why we can buy Mendes in January in a minute. But still, I just want the right player. So get your comments in on that. Is it about the right player, or is it about saving money? Why are we so concerned with saving money right now? If we can afford him and get him, do we just get the best? I thought it was all down to best in class. Dorgu, good player, absolute powerhouse and getting better, says Alan. Do we actually go into potential again? The thing is, like, because Dorgu is doing so well, Alvaro is doing so well, all the players are in their early 20s right now. I think ranging from 21 to 23, brilliant players. I think because we've seen Mendes on the scene at such an early age, we kind of forget that he is still a young player, and he is a little bit older as well, but still, because he's been around for so long, you forget how old he is. So I think that's what we have to put into this as well. I think it's important to remember that these players that have come on the scene are players, for instance, just Mendes. Difference between Alvaro and Dorgu, I feel. I don't know enough about Dorgu, but just in the case of Alvaro, like Manchester United didn't give him the chance at an early age as a teenager. You look at Mendes, he has been given that early chance by Ruben Amorim at Sporting at an early age, and this is why it seems like he's been around for so long, because he's already been at 2 football clubs and he's still only in his early 20s. So that's what you've got to look at as well. And you know what? I said it before. The best thing about PSG is Luis Enrique. He is forcing the hand of the directors and the people that are in power at PSG right now in making them get rid of players, and we are reaping the rewards of it. Like, they took us all away with Manuel Ugarte, but I say it again, Nobody is complaining about Manuel Ugarte right now. He has been an absolute revelation in this Manchester United side. So if we're having to do the same with Mendes, then I haven't got a problem with it. I haven't. We're buying another full-on international who's only going to get better and better under Ruben Amorim. I'm all in. I want Mendes. If he is the target for Ruben, we back the manager and we go with that target. So that's what United should be doing. I think we need to be getting the best that he can work with. PSG will hate all the positive press about Ugarte right now. They are that type of club, says Black Sheep. Well, look, Mike, like I said, the best thing that happens to United, if he's not playing him, they need to make money to change their squad. So, thank you. We will take that and we will take the benefit from it. Sell Casemiro for 25 million, 100% yes. Thanks for the first season. On your way now. I want to move on to that, actually. For 50 million, do you buy Edison, the midfielder, or Nuno Mendes, the left wing back? I prefer Edison. It's a pointless question, Almac. It really is, mate, because our budget isn't on midfield in this January. It really is a pointless one. You compare Mendes to other left backs, but not midfield. We're not going to buy an 8 in January. The 8 is coming in the summer, and we cannot buy Edison in January, so it's pointless bringing him up. United will have a budget under the new year finances to go and get Edison and the striker. We know that for certain. So, yep, Edison, I want him. I want Mendes too, so you buy both, mate. It's as simple as that, and they're in different windows. The poll that is running right now is still actually stacked. We're coming up. Get voting on this poll, everybody, as well. And like I said, get your comments in on the comments section if you're catching up on the live show as well. But at the poll right now, would you sell Casemiro for 25 million? 96% of you have said yes. Now, when it comes to Casemiro, I'm just going to read out the stories here and what is actually happening. Because there was a lot of talk going around last night. So I wanted to get some more detail on it. But this one, first of all, came out from John Cross in the Mirror. And regarding what's happening with Saudi right now. And there is this whole, this feeling and expectation that the Saudi Pro League clubs expect to be busy in January transfer window, and that will also ensure the Premier League transfer window could see a dramatic rise in spending this month. Players and their representatives are already expecting a raft of big money moves this month. Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham are all on the lookout for deals this month. Ruben Amorim wants to use the windows to get players in. So the Saudi Pro League is going to be active. We've then heard about the push from El Nassr. El Nassr are back in for Casemiro this January transfer window. The Saudi club are waiting to sell Talisca. If that gets done, they will target Casemiro, who is open more than ever to a move to Saudi. That's the update on him. The deal makers believe Casemiro is available for Saudi deal makers believe that Casemiro is available for £25 million. That's from Ben Jacobs as well. And when you look at that and you look at everything that's going on, like the push from Ronaldo to get Casemiro in at El Nassr, everything that's been said regarding what Romano said about watching Casemiro this month, how Manchester United can actually afford to bring the likes of Mendes in through the door. And yeah, you look at it, the Times Sports also reporting as well. The Saudi Pro League has been alerted to the availability of Casemiro, who has let it be known that he would be open to leaving Manchester United this month. 32-year-old Casemiro, let's look at that right now. Casemiro for 25 million. I think 25 million, having spent 60 on him 2 seasons ago, I'm taking it. You're pretty much halfway through a contract. He's done well. We've got 2 trophies with him. We qualified for the Champions League with him. Yes, he cost a lot in wages, but if you're looking at a 5-year deal, he's on 32 now. He's 32 now, sorry. You're halfway through his contract, and you can recoup over a third of that value and save yourself money in wages as well now at this stage in January. And that helps you get someone younger and better who works with the new manager. You 100% sell Casemiro. I love him. I like his attitude. I love his professionalism. Absolutely outstanding player. It was brilliant for Manchester United in his first season. But when you look at 25 million for Casemiro, and when you look at the wage structure, you would save near 9 million from now until the end of the season in wages. So that's his contract. By the way, everyone, it's like Casemiro was on 350 grand a week, and he had 100 grand worth of bonuses as well. So there's times when Casemiro's wage went to 450 grand a week. And that probably would have been triggered in certain aspects of the last 2 seasons in United winning trophies or in playing a certain amount of games. That's scary to think that that could have rose more than 350 million. That is really an outstanding sort of reality for Manchester United and why we're trying to move him on. 25 million with 9 million saved in wages just this season alone from this point. Never mind the next 2 years, which is up near, 36 million for 2 more years of Casemiro. 36 million in wages if he stays at United for another 2 years and sees his contract out. Ouch. That's a lot of money. He is reportedly going to be on 650 grand a week in Saudi. You're taking it at 32, aren't you? Casemiro knows his time's up. Casemiro wants to move away from Manchester United. He can go and play his football out in comfort in El Nassr in the Saudi Pro League alongside Ronaldo, earning an absolute fortune. 650 grand a week tax-free. At 32, when you're not playing games and you're not fitting into a system, I think it's time. I think he's at the perfect age. I think he's the perfect signing for the Saudi Pro League, and United need to be all over this. 25 million, snatch their hands off, save yourself that extra bit of wages as well, just this season alone. I'm saying just this season because when United are balancing their books and they're looking at the end of year, if you can get 25 million for Casemiro and save 9 million in wages, that's 34 million off what you're already projecting right now, when you are basically right on the border now if you don't do anything. But what this does do is open the door for Manchester United to go and get Mendes from PSG. And you can say, yes, well, that doesn't equate, Adam, in terms of payments, and we got to spend 50 million on Mendes. Casemiro we're only getting 25 million for. Well, you think of the wages that we're going to save, and obviously we're going to pay in instalments. And this is where I think United will be clever. I think United will even look at a loan with obligation for Nuno Mendes. I think they will. PSG are going to drive hardball, as we know, but I think Casemiro opens up the door. I think if you sell Casemiro and you possibly get rid of Eriksen as well, then you're looking there straight away at £30 million worth of transfer fees. And, oh my God, you're saving, nearly 12 to 15 million pound in wages already from now until the end of the season if both of them players go. That's a lot of bread. And that, I think, is how United are looking at this window. When it comes to outgoings, yes, you could have maybe made a deal for Osimhen with Rashford, and that might have come in and worked out. But if Osimhen's not ready to go, I think the striker option's gone. This is why we were hearing last night about Kolo Muani coming in and being a lone striker. Not many people impressed going off what's been written on social media with Muani coming into Manchester United. But again, if Zirkzee goes, I do believe, well, if Rashford and Zirkzee both go, United need someone else in. If one goes, I think he'll just hold on. I think he'll try and survive. And I think that's where we may see someone from the academy come in later on through the season. But with the carnage of the December months done, and obviously if United can put to bed the Europa League with Rangers in a couple of weeks' time and then be automatically qualified, you've got the gaps then in between the weeks, and we can get results like we had this week against Liverpool because Ruben Amorim has had a full week's worth of training. I think that's what you've got to look at with this. Let's get into your comments on Casemiro and how we see this deal actually panning out. We now have just under 1,000 votes on just under 1,600 people in the room with us right now. Get voting on this poll, everybody. 96% of you. Is there anyone in the chat right now that would not sell Casemiro? Honestly, I am stretching to find anybody or any reason why we keep Casemiro right now. He's not playing. When he does play, he's poor. He looks like he's completely lost interest in the whole project at Manchester United right now. I'm not saying he's lost what he can do. He's still a good footballer, but still, like, he just doesn't fit right now, does he, for Ruben Amorim? And that, I think, is where United need to be. Like I said, just under 1,600 in the room, only 240 likes. Get the likes up. We should be at least 400, everybody, at this stage for that many people. Thank you. Let's get into the chat and see what we've actually got in here regarding Casemiro. United needs just 2 signings in this window. Left back and an aggressive DM to complement Agate. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Again, the midfield will definitely be strengthened, I think, in the summer. But right now, needs must. We need to get through the financial year, and we need to sell players to bring in the ones that we want. Casemiro, he opens up another door for us, and it is massively important that United are on top of this right now. Let me just say, okay, there is just an update coming in right now, actually, on Joshua Zirkzee on things as well. Let me just check. This has only just come out in the last 10 minutes as well, everybody. But apparently David Ornstein has just completely shut down the Joshua Zirkzee leaving Manchester United. Ornstein has said that Joshua Zirkzee intends to stay at Manchester United. So everything now points towards, and this has come out on a few aggregator accounts as well. So yeah, I'm just looking into it quickly right now as I've only just seen it come out. Let's just see. Just bear with me 1 second, everybody. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now, and this was what some people reported this yesterday. But with Ornstein saying this, and a few aggregator accounts have just said this as well. We'll touch on it in a minute because we've got more updates on Marcus Rashford to come in this show as well. But Ornstein has just said, and some people are pushing this out right now, that Joshua Zirkzee definitely wants to stay at Manchester United. Clearly, United have made their stance very, very clear, and let's just see. I'm just taking everything in here and what's actually happening. But yeah, right, okay. That's where we're at. So when I went into the morning show this morning, when I opened up the show, we were saying that Manchester United were very, very clear on making their transfer stance open to everybody. Juventus tried to get Zirkzee on loan, and it just looks like Manchester United have just changed. Manchester United have just changed tact, and they've just said, look, no, it's not happening. We're not letting anybody go. We're not letting anybody leave Manchester United for cheap. We're going to stand our ground. We're going to just negotiate our way. I touched on it yesterday as well, I think. But I think with this one, just Zirkzee being shut down instantly is, I think, the best option. I think Zirkzee now staying at Manchester United helps us concentrate on everything else that's going on. I think right now, personally, I think it's just a case of let's just get through this window and get the main target that we want. I think that's where Manchester United are at with this. And that news there pretty much confirms it for me. I feel like right now it's for Zirkzee, it had to be a financial gain for United. They're not willing to negotiate. And I just feel like they've made it very, very clear that it's not happening. You're not going to steal a player away on loan. We had this stance in the summer where we weren't loaning out first-team players. It was more academy players. So when you look at it and what's happening with Zirkzee, I think this is where United were in the summer as well. Look, Ruben may feel like he can use him. Look, if we can't get another forward in, which pretty much looks that way, Mwane, that looked a bit desperate yesterday. Too many other clubs in for him as well. If we are going to concentrate on one player from PSG, it has to be Mendes. I think United have just basically, the first week of the transfer window has just finished today, basically. We're a week in, and I think United have just looked at this and gone, let's just now see, after that first week, what's available and what's priority. Looked at forwards, looked at other positions, looked at everybody available. Now we know what we need to do. I think like that report said at the top of the show, look, now United are looking at this next week now as to make their serious move in the market. Obviously, we just talked about Casemiro and how he can open up funds and opportunities for Manchester United. Zirkzee is now no longer leaving Manchester United. And with that being said, I think the priority now is actually around two key players at United, which is Casemiro and Marcus Rashford. And I think that, is what's important. I think they're the problem. Zirkzee isn't so much a problem in terms of the issues he's causing behind the scene. It's just the quality of player, and if we can get someone better in, we clearly can't get anyone better in right now, I don't think. So that's what we've got to look at, I think, more than anything, and prioritise. Look, is it worth it just for the sake of moving someone out because he's had a bad start to his time at Man United? Whereas Rashford is a different kettle of fish altogether. I think where we're at is actually right now looking at everything that has come out over the last 2 days. Juventus going all in yesterday. We had the big move for Zirkzee. That being shut down this morning. I think United have just said, look, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to negotiate through this month. And a decision has been made that the deal's off. And that's it. And thankfully, we're not going to be talking about the ins and outs and what's actually happening and what might come down towards the back end of this transfer window. I think it's good that United have made it very, very clear, and the decision has been, boom, right down the middle. No, that's not good enough. If you can only afford a loan, we're not letting you do that. And let's be honest, Juventus were probably trying to get Man United to actually subsidise some of the wages of Zirkzee as well, and they've just said, no, shut up, see you later, done. And that's what we need from United. We need to be solid, I think, in negotiations. And I think we need to be clear with every club that you're not just going to come in and take players away and steal players off United. And hopefully they have that stance when it comes to bringing players in as well and not overspending. It works both ways. But still, I think Zirkzee, it's a completely different conversation about his quality, I know. And hopefully he can find something and his new lease of life. Like me, even with Rashford out the scene, like, you never know. Players might take it upon themselves and go, right, okay, they've moved a big player on. This is my chance. Sometimes, you know what, little things click in players' minds. Something can change within a club, a little bit of the culture, or a certain player leaving, or something that was really causing a problem and affecting the manager, and he's not been able to fully concentrate on what he wants to, and it's taken him away from it. I think this has happened with a few United managers in the past, but honestly, right now, looking at this, I think Zirkzee will probably look at this and go, this is a good opportunity for me right now. Let's play out the rest of the season. It's not going to do any harm. The relationship with the manager, I don't know. Maybe it can be fixed throughout from now until the end of the season. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But United should not just bow down in the transfer window for anybody to take players away. And I feel like I think this is the stance we should be taking. And let's be honest, Zirkzee probably should get as much time, I think, as everybody else, like 2 years. And yeah, I just feel like we're looking at this now in the right way, United. Is that we've only just brought him in. Look, the signings that we made in the summer are all doing well. And maybe United feel like, look, if Juventus wants Zirkzee, there's clearly something there. And if we can sort of work on the system and work on him and get him better, then we can actually make something of him. It doesn't work out, we've got the summer to deal with it. And then we might be able to get more money because everyone's not in that desperate sort of category in the January transfer window. So, yeah, Zirkzee deal to Juventus is off. I think that's what the biggest news is so far today. And United making their stance in the window. There is an update on Marcus Rashford, what I want to get into next as well. Tushar, welcome to the Members Club as well. Thank you. Keep them likes coming in. Keep your comments coming in, everybody. We are going to have a big section right at the end of this show for all of your comments, so don't worry if it hasn't been read out or anything yet. But in terms of Marcus Rashford, the Manchester United, AC Milan we spoke about yesterday and what's happening there. Manchester United will consider a loan with obligation to buy offers for Marcus Rashford, and a number of clubs have expressed interest in Marcus Rashford. This from Simon Jones from the Daily Mail. So this again going up to a different level with Marcus Rashford, and I think United prioritising what can happen. This is Laurie Whitwell has just come out as well, actually, on Marcus Rashford in the last minute, in fact. Honestly, the 8 o'clock show at the moment is getting all of the breaking news. I've just seen this one pop up right now. Sources believe Italy is the likeliest destination for Marcus Rashford this month. That from Laurie Whitwell. And obviously we just had from The Athletic David Ornstein. We've had double barrel from Ornstein and Whitwell on Zirkzee and Rashford. Zirkzee stays. Rashford likely to move to Italy. That coming from The Athletic this morning as we go throughout all of this transfer news. But yeah, I will probably talk a little bit more about that later, and we'll see how this is all going to pan out. But when you look at that, when you look at everything that's going down with Marcus Rashford right now, I think United are right in trying to move this transfer window along very quickly. I think priorities, get the player in that you want. Let's try and sell players on then. I think United are actively really confident that they're going to get decent value for Casemiro at this point. I think that's where we stand right now. And I think him opening up the rest of this window is key for United. It's a massive wage gone. And if you get rid of Rashford as well, I know you're not going to be able to... get rid of all of Marcus Rashford's wages. You may get a loan fee for him. You may get the obligation. I think that's what United are pushing. I feel like Rashford needs a lot of concentration on that deal. And United probably, Zirkzee to bed. Let's get our left back in. Get Casemiro gone. I think they're the big moves. Looking at it right now, I think everything else has just aligned itself, and I think we can see exactly where United's window is going right now. I think all focus is on Rashford, Casemiro, and the left wing back coming into Manchester United. I think that's been made very, very clear. An interesting one on that left back situation as well, though, that came about was that we were talking about Harry Amas being moved on loan to Leicester. Well, that apparently now is off. Harry Amas will not be joining Leicester in January on loan. Decision made by both parties. Negotiations had taken place with Harry's camp and Leicester's, but it's off. That's really interesting on the Harry Amas situation. So I think United are, again, when you look at the priority side of things, with Harry Amas not going anywhere, Zirkzee not going anywhere, United in the first week of the window have just gone, okay, let's see what we can do. Don't like that. Let's just stick with what we've got here. Concentrate on that. That can happen. This could possibly be happening. And that's it. So right now, if Harry Amas is not going to Leicester, that was his best option. I can't understand why United wouldn't let that happen, or why Harry wouldn't go to Premier League football to try and learn his trade. I mean, obviously, you would go to Leicester, wouldn't you, ahead of a Championship side or a League One side? Look, I'm not saying that Harry's still not gonna go out on loan. I think he will, but it's strange how that Leicester option was there, but now it's not. Really interesting on that one, and I don't know why all of a sudden that has changed. It's key. I'm not too sure why, but again, it could be in line with United preparing themselves for that priority left-hand side. Look, if we can't negotiate with PSG, we can't get that deal done, we can't get the right price for Zirkzee, Dorgu just doesn't come off, we can't get Alvaro back. Worst case, United have got options all the way down for left wing back right now. And I think worst case scenario for the club, and I don't mean this against Harry Amas in any way, shape or form, but worst case scenario is you've got a left wing back there that could step up and possibly get a bit more game time this season if nothing else works out. That's all I can think. I still believe that United will go full ball and get a new left wing back in, but we actually have got cover in that area right now, I think. And yeah, I just feel like it is I think it is Manchester United being organised, and it's, I think, actually looking quite positive in terms of how United are organising themselves in this window. So yeah, I'm looking at this as like decent news for United. And we're going to come into the comment section right now. Of course, I don't know if you all seen the pictures yesterday of the funeral of Caf, the former receptionist of Manchester United, who sadly passed away the other day. Brilliant that we had such a great turnout for her at the funeral. The full Manchester United squad, including academy and women's team. Greats of the club. Like Bex was there, Sir Alex Ferguson was there. Obviously, that was a fantastic turnout for Caf, and just wanted to mention that there. Brilliant that the club got that all put on, and it was such a great send-off for one of the longest serving members of staff in Manchester United's history. So yeah, that was brilliant to see yesterday as well. Rodrigo in the chat, let's start things off. Super chat. You talk a lot about Alvaro to play in a left wing on the left wing, but he doesn't fit the system of Amorim. Nuno Mendes is probably the best option. He was so good for Amorim back then. Look, mate, it's not like I'm not saying that Alvaro should come in. I mean, I've always put Alvaro Fernandez down the pecking order. Look, it's an option that's there for United if they want to take it. And this is why he is so far down the pecking order, I think, and why I don't think it will happen. I think, again, it's a case of, do you want to just take the cheap option, mate, or do you want to actually get the right player for Ruben? And I would always push towards the right option. And I'm with you. I think Nuno Mendes is the best option for United right now. And I would spend money. I would spend the majority of what we have made in this window, if we do make anything, or what we've got saved or still available, on a left wing back. And that's what I feel. Leon is coming in over for his medical this month. I think this week, in fact, actually. So, yeah, we have got another left wing-back player coming in the summer as well. So, again, like looking at that structure, looking at what we've got in reserve and what we can actually get in this window, and then possibly even in the summer. Like already we have got a left wing back coming in the summer in Diego Leon. If we buy one now in Mendes, I think that's that done. I do. I think that's that position sorted. You'll have a decision to make then on Dalot, and maybe we bring a right wing back in time. Don't know. Maybe we could bring in a 10 and another forward, and Dalot and Ahmad can cover that position. Look, there's options there. I think the way you look at it, I'm looking at it really positive right now in how United's squad is shaping up. I do think that we are in a good position to attack what we need to. And I think prioritising a certain one signing is the right way to do it. I think we should just be looking at one player and making sure that he is the right player. We just brought 5 in, and they're all doing okay apart from obviously Zirkzee, like we said, but time will tell. And if we go out and get a left wing back right now, then that system all of a sudden starts to come together really well. And I'm excited to see what will happen if we do get that wing back in. Really excited. Like, I'm excited to see what Ruben Amorim can do from this point forward now with the squad that we've got. If you had the right players in, then yeah. I feel like that's even more of a push. We know if Rashford goes on loan, he will not play for United ever again. He will be sold now or summer, but Amorim needs the distraction gone. True, says Ryan. If you sell Casemiro, who would you play when Agate is not available? When Agate is not available, I think you've got Bruno Fernandes, you've got Kobbie Mainoo. I think Toby Collier has to come in. Honestly, right now, like Toby Collier, I think will play a part for Manchester United this season. If Casemiro is going to be that player that never plays, if he's going to be that player that's always sat on the bench, I'd rather have someone young and who is willing to learn the system and ambitious like Toby Collier to come in and play. And maybe this could be the birth of Toby Collier. Look, you've got players coming through eventually. You've got Sekou Kone, who you bought in the summer, who's coming through. Obviously, Dan Gore is there as well in the academy. I don't know if they'll utilise him or something like that. Obviously, he's coming into his early 20s now as well. So there are options there. If Casemiro isn't going to play a big part, and you've got players like Manuel Agate, who are going to play most of the games, as we know, who is fit as a fiddle. And let's not forget, like I said before, if United beat Rangers, then it opens up Manchester United's season and we're not playing as many games. United right now are in a great position where we have had this break at start of January where we've only played 2 games in 2 weeks against Liverpool and Arsenal. So everybody's fit. We've got more time on a training ground. The biggest game of this month is Rangers. Get the Europa League put to bed. Get qualified into the next round, and then you're not worried about rotating the system that much. Honestly, then you're looking at Steaua Bucharest. By the time that game comes, the last game of the group stages, right at the end of January, you're playing a reserve team completely, and you're resting everybody. You're not taking anyone on that trip, and you're resting them fully. And then into February, what have you got? We've got no Carabao Cup games now. Yes, you've got your FA Cup game and just Premier League game, but there's no Europe. 2 games less in that month as well. And then you kickstart Europe again in March. So really, I think the position we're in right now, I think we have got a chance to rest players. And like the news came out yesterday as well, Luke Shaw is expected to be back this month. Yes, I know it sounds like a bit of a far out cry, a little bit of a shout to say, woo, yes, Luke Shaw's back, but he is. Manchester United have said that they're expecting Luke Shaw to be back in training in January. So there's another player back in the matchday squad, hopefully. And I think he will be a player that we're just going to use off the bench. I don't think we can be starting Luke Shaw right now. I think he just needs to be used as and when. And as someone who can come on and mess players up, I think, in that back line. But options are there, I think, for us to manage this. And yeah, it's like when you look at... For instance, when you look at squad depth, and we're looking now at the decisions that have been made with Zirkzee, and we're looking at probably moving Rashford on, I think Ruben Amorim has had this out, and he's made it clear. Like Dalot's comments, for instance, saying he's stung by the manager coming out and saying we're craving, we're starving for leaders. I mean, that stung Dalot. I think a few players have reacted a certain way and a few players have reacted the opposite way. And I think Ruben Amorim has found the players that he wants and he's got the reaction from certain players that he wants. Like maybe Dalot, that was that moment for Dalot. Maybe that was the time when he realised and he stepped up a bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that with Zirkzee as well. I just feel like the right players leaving Manchester United right now will benefit the players that are here that are struggling as well. And you know what? We'll have to wait around and see what happens with Tyrell Malacia as well. Maybe United could get some money for him. I think with us only spending a little bit of money on him when we first bought him in, United will look to sell him Malacia, and actually, you know what? We might actually make quite a bit of money. Well, not quite a bit of money, but if you think about it, Casemiro, maybe get a loan fee for Rashford, maybe sell Eriksen. If these players are not playing, maybe get rid of Lindelof. I don't know. That's a chance. And you could sell Malacia, or even get a loan fee from Malacia. All of a sudden, you're looking at Malacia, Casemiro, Eriksen, maybe Lindelof, loan fee for Rashford. You could easily raise 40 to 50 million in a January transfer window when players leaving Manchester United. And yes, that then would cover Manchester United bringing in a left wing back. And yeah, I would like then maybe Harry Amass to step up into the matchday squad. I would like Toby Collier to be that player that recovers. So when you're talking about moving Malacia on, bring in Harry Amass. When you're talking about moving Casemiro on, in comes Toby Collier. And this is where the academy get their chance to come in and make theirs. And what have I always gone on about? Continuously having blockers and squad depth being blocked by average overpaid players at Manchester United. That's what we're looking at right now. And in March, when I've talked about Manchester United then having a bit more freedom and Europe starting again, Mason Mount is due back. And I know, I'm not relying on Mount, I'm not relying on Shaw, but still, you have to look at them as squad players. Complicated deal in the offing for Antony. See, Antony is a player that I don't think will go this month. Like Plettenberg has just come out and said the deal with a loan from Olympiacos and Manchester United is not fully off, but is very, very complicated. So I don't know if United are really going to go down that road. Like Antony is a problem for United, obviously because of how much we paid for him. I don't think Olympiacos are in the market at all for spending money. They haven't got money. They never have had money. And I don't think they're going to have any in January to spend on players. So a loan for Antony, maybe we can get a loan fee for him as well. But I think he will be more useful for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim right now than a lot of the players we're talking about that could be leaving. Into the chat we go again. I'd be very happy if Rashford left. I think Zirkzee could still come good. Hope Mendes can be got for United. Casemiro too big too big a chance to turn down, definitely. Please hit that subscribe button as well. We've got 1,800 in the room. We are creeping up. We are less than 150 away. What are we there at? 137 away from 70k. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, everybody. Thank you. John says, hi Adam, Johnny Evans being considered by Rangers for their defensive crisis as Manchester United latest news. Yeah, I mean, I would like Johnny to stay, to be honest. But if Johnny's going to go in January, United need to be getting money for him. That's what I say. You need to be looking at getting money for Johnny Evans if Rangers want him in January. Take advantage of that situation. Get a couple mil loan fee or something like that. He's not on big wages, as we know, so Rangers won't have a problem with that. But yeah, I think United should be rinsing every single penny out of this January transfer window if people are looking at United players. Loan fees for players that we know we're probably not going to be able to get a sale fee for this month. Just rinse it completely. I don't understand what is endgame for Malacia. Does he want to sit on the bench? Guy is unprofessional and unethical. Yeah, I mean, look, he's mixing with Marcus Rashford. I'm not saying that that's why he's dropped off, but why is Ruben Amorim not playing a left-sided player on the left side where we are so short? There's 3 games in a row now where he's not featured at all and he's fully fit. Something stinks there as well. And he has been left out of a matchday squad as well. So, yeah. I think Malacia's time is up. And I could see him moving on, definitely. Agate and Kobe aren't going to play every game. Once they get rotated, the drop-off is huge. Look, it depends how you rotate them. Do you play them for 60 minutes like Ruben Amorim has and then bring them off? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's different ways. It doesn't mean that they don't start games. It means that they may start other games but maybe get like 30 minutes off. Players can play 60 minutes. Do you know what I mean? That is an option for United. And I think hopefully, Like, by the time we're actually well in with his system and the players are starting to learn it a little bit more, I think you look at what Ruben Amorim's installing into this squad, hopefully the confidence comes. Hopefully more players will take to it as well, and rotation will seem a bit more seamless, and we won't be so concerned when certain players aren't getting into the team. We need a striker because playing Højlund up top is likely playing with 10 men. I think it's a bit too harsh, to be honest. I get the criticism for him right now and the concern, but still, I'm hoping that the system will start to create more for these players. And look, yeah, I get it. Look, Rasmus Højlund should have took that chance against Liverpool, but the system and the chances that United created against Liverpool was down to what Ruben Amorim did. And eventually, you're hoping, well, if he doesn't take his chance, we know that United are going to bring in another striker in the summer, no matter what happens. And do you know what? All of a sudden, I'm looking at this and I'm going, Osimhen not coming in. We desperately need a striker. I know maybe an academy player gets a chance, and then you can go for Gyökeres in the summer. And that would be brilliant for United. That would be a brilliant signing for Manchester United. And we know that we're guaranteed goals. We have just passed over 500 live likes as well. Thank you, everybody. Love that. Aussie AL, Luke Shaw is injured. He went for a haircut and did his calf. Yep. Rudresh says Shaw/Malacia has held that left-back position on ransom for over 18 months. Ripping their contract makes more sense than anything. And not ripping the contract up, selling Malacia and making money makes sense, mate. As Shaw is a different kettle of fish altogether. If someone came in the summer and offered us 10 million for Shaw, I'd rip their hand off. I think United will still look to try and sell Luke Shaw in the summer. I think with Diego Leon coming in, United actively going for a left wing back now, I think Luke Shaw's time at Man United could be coming to an end. Unless Ruben Amorim is going to use him for one more year and say, look, you're just going to come in and cover, like maybe Mazraoui at centre-back. Because we're not going to be able to buy a centre-back, I don't think, this summer. So really, when you look at what Luke Shaw could do, he could have 20, 30 minutes and rest one of the centre-backs. Maybe come in and play at left centre-back in certain games. Mazraoui could do the same as well. And I look at it and I go, I think Manchester United's squad, in a way, I think we're stumbling across within this system a way to actually rotate and get around the problem that we've got, or what we think we've got. I think keeping Zirkzee is a big mistake, a different reason as to why he and Rashford need to move on, along with Anana. Good Lord, I can't believe we are not concentrating on that position. I think all in good time with a lot of these positions. I do hope that we do bring in another goalkeeper as well. I think that's something that we need to keep an eye on. I think we definitely need to be all over as well. I think after this summer, we will finally be rid of a lot of the players we wanted gone for years. Change is coming. I don't think I actually agree with that. Ryan says, we may see Obi Martins on the bench going forward for cameos up front. Kid looks amazing. He does. He really does. And I think we will see maybe a few more of the academy players making appearances on the bench for Manchester United. We've seen Godwill Kakonki sat on the bench in the last game as well against Newcastle. So, yeah, I actually feel like we are going to start seeing that now. And I think the January transfer window will open up that opportunity, like I said. But, hey, look, just to round up everything that has gone down, Joshua Zirkzee is staying at Manchester United. David Ornstein has broke that news. That is what's happening. United have said no to a loan move to Juventus. And if they don't want to buy him, that's that. Marcus Rashford, Manchester United are open to loan with obligation offers coming in for him. And there are plenty of offers coming in, apparently, according to sources. The Saudi Pro League is going to be well and truly open for Manchester United. Casemiro looks set to leave definitely now. Too many people saying the same thing with him. 25 million looks like a fee that is on the table for Casemiro. I think United need to be all over that. And Manchester United's priority is Nuno Mendes. Zirkzee is there. Dorgu is there. We also have Alvaro if needed. Harry Amas is not going on loan now to Leicester, so maybe United are just organising themselves and getting ready for anything extra that can be done this window. But that pretty much is your full update here on Forever United TV. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. New members, contributions, all of the likes. We have over 500. Give it a like. Give the video a like on the way out, everybody. More importantly, please do hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, let's just see what happens today. And we'll have you covered. If anything else does come out in the news, we'll be all over it, and we'll take it from there. And hopefully it's in positive as well for Manchester United. But that is it for now, everyone. We are, 130 subscribers away from 70k. Keep them coming in, everyone. I will see you all later on. Actually, one more super chat just jumped up on the screen there again from Rodrigo. Thank you, my man. Love that. In the academy, we have Ethan Wheatley. He is kind of good. If Zirkzee and Marcus leave, he is for sure. He is getting in the first team. Look, the academy players are always going to be there. And I've hopefully some of them get their chance if we can move some of this deadwood on. Thanks for the super chat, Rodrigo. Absolutely loved that. Great contributions from you today, and everybody else as well. That is it for now. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all later.